What you guys are seeing on the screen right now is my record after playing 24 hours straight of the pre-launch edition of Undisputed Boxing by Steel City Interactive. And there's a lot of comparison going on of this game to Fight Night Champion and previous boxing games, UFC 5, UFC 4. And we're going to get to cover all of that. But I showcased the record that I had in quick fights because I played well over 100 matches. And I think when it comes to giving a opinion or an actual breakdown about this game, you're not going to find anybody more qualified. I've been playing boxing games since I was 16 and I am now 28. And when I say I've been playing them since I was 16, I meant on YouTube. I played a shit ton of round 3. I played a shit ton of round 4. Cap. I didn't play round 4 because round 4 was bad, even though some people try to lie and say it was a good game. Round 4 was not a good game, and it was a major letdown after round 3, which is part of the reason why Fight Night Champion did not sell well, because a lot of people lost faith in the Fight Night franchise after how bad round 4 was. And I can tell you this much, Fight Night Champion is not a better game than Steel City Interactive's Undisputed boxing game. You will not find somebody with more hours on Fight Night Champion that makes content than me. So that is the official opinion, because I've been doing this since 2012. So anybody else trying to tell you something different is probably lying to you, or is a Fight Night shill or champion fanboy. That's it. Now, a lot of players, when they talk about Fight Night Champion compared to Undisputed, they don't have the online experience to even qualify to give an opinion about the game. They do not simply have it. They were not with us in the trenches in 2012, 2011 and on. They just were not. So they can't talk about whether or not Fight Night Champion was a better game, especially when a lot of the content creators that are giving opinions about the game either picked up Undisputed during beta or when early access first launched and then dropped the game and then simply kept coming back to it anytime there was a patch, or they don't play on a competitive level, or they simply just don't have the integrity to tell you guys the truth, because they are trying to capitalize on the game for monetary value, because it literally is just about to come out. The game hasn't even come out yet. So a lot of the opinions that are going around are from people who are anxious or don't really understand the patch history and what Steel City Interactive has been trying to do. The question is, Fight Night, is this game worth playing right now? Yes, because the game is fun. The game is worth playing. And Steel City Interactive does have a good understanding of what the hell is wrong with the game. However, it seems like from the, it must have been 7 months now since they took a break with uploading patches to focus on the console release. They focus more on presentation and not as much on mechanics. And the game has gotten worse mechanically, but it has increased in its presentation. Because what a lot of people are not mentioning is that it had a camera angle that was abysmal to play with. Like, it was almost unusable, and for viewers and live streamers, it was very, very bad to watch. And they spent a lot of time trying to upgrade the presentation because players were saying there's not enough detail on the fighters. They're still complaining about that, and why it may not have the level of muscle definition as a Fight Night Champion. Honestly, I think the graphics look pretty okay. I can also see where people are coming from when they say that it looks like a PS2 or PS3 game due to some of the lack of detail and the softness of the fighters. I think it's a very big improvement from where it was. But besides the visual appeal, there are still a lot of issues that are prevalent. Number one, we need to start talking about the community. Out of the 100+ matches that I played, 106 matches, only 6 knew what the hell they were doing. I can tell you this from playing Fight Night Champion for 13 years. A lot of players don't know how to box on that game either. So it's not so much of the game doesn't emulate boxing. A lot of the player base simply don't know how to box or don't want to box. Being a player who tries to emulate the sport or try to be sim, I'm doing the quote fingers, it puts you in a minority. And if you, just to really give y'all understanding of what I'm talking about, the reason a lot of these games look like Rock'em Sock'em Online with players spamming power hook back and forth is because of the players. This is me playing against a tester, and this is me playing against somebody who actually understands the game and is trying to emulate the sport as best as it can. And while you are still seeing some exchanges, you're also seeing players fainting. You're also seeing players take their time. You're seeing players like stroke combinations that make sense. And you're not seeing that in quick fight, and you're not seeing it, you're sure as hell not seeing it in ranked. Because a lot of people are saying, well, the quick fight record may be invalid, but the ranked gameplay is really where it looks terrible. The constant leaning back, the constant power hook spam, the constant picking OP characters. The game does not work well defensively at all, and the player's IQ does not help. What you're gonna get is a lot of players either standing in a corner and just trading punches, or waiting till you do something and then they just start throwing random shit that don't make sense. And you rarely see a player who tries to use distance, utilize the jab, utilize the feint system. IQ of the player base is extremely low when it comes to boxing, because everybody just wants to win. Now, while the players do need to take responsibility for that, once again, the blame goes back to SCI for not focusing on game mechanics, which should have been the main focus of their patch rather than presentation, in my opinion. The main thing that should have been working on is the defense, not the offense. Because a lot of these power hook spams, a lot of these uppercut spams, a lot of the constant jab straight spam that you're seeing is because the game has not worked on the speed, the hand speed of the game. They have not worked on the recovery frames. They have not worked on blocking. They have not worked on the targeting system. You cannot slip, and you cannot use the weave modifier to get away from punches. The main thing that allows spam to be rampant on not just this game, also on UFC 5 and also on Fight Night Champion, is because the game does not work well defensively. Sidestep uppercut spam on Fight Night Champion, power straight spam on Fight Night Champion, those things, there's no defensive tool to deal with it. Hook spam on here, you can no longer catch and shoot. That has been removed from the game. There's also a block meter in the game. UFC 5 already showed you that players will try to break the block health. So I don't know why it was a mechanic that was adopted for this game. Anytime you put a meter on defense, you are begging players to just sit there and throw punches without thought in order to just break the meter and then get their offense off successfully. So until that is moved, the spamming will not stop. Until you are able to slip hooks, the spamming will not stop. Until you are able to duck under hooks, the spamming will not stop. Until the weave modifier and the head movement system allows you to get away from punches, the spamming will not stop. Until you can actually block punches, the spamming will not stop. There's no reason why players should be landing 60 to 70% of their offense while trying to block punches. The new blocking animations simply do not work well. And until they fix it, the spamming will not stop. Until the game starts making sense mechanically and from a technical standpoint, the spamming will not stop. And the game will continue to look terrible online. Players will have no reason to invest in the game if it is not skill based. Now, Fight Night, is it better than Fight Night Champion? The game does not look as polished as Fight Night Champion. Does the game work as well as Fight Night Champion? I can tell you this much, offline it does, but the desync makes the game look a lot less polished than it actually is. And like I said, combine that with the bad defensive tools, the desync and the online server issues, and the player base and their knowledge of the game, which they have not had enough time with, especially on console. The game only looks that way because of how the players are playing. But the game is better than Fight Night, and it is more fun to play. Now, what I want you guys to really understand is that anytime Steel City Interactive releases a patch for Undisputed, the game drastically changes every single time. Whether it was the Big Daddy update, the Eastern Assassin update, going from beta to beta, the game always changes in a dramatic way. So the same things that used to work may or may not work, and it always feels completely different. So what I say is, even after the launch day patch that's going to come out, wait until December, and that will really tell you where Steel City Interactive's focus is on whether they're just trying to make the game better, make it look visually appealing, or if it's actually mechanically better and more ready to be played on a competitive level or something to really take serious. But if you're just trying to have fun and you're trying to enjoy a new boxing game, or you're trying to play against your boys, or play offline, I guarantee you that the game is a lot of fun and it's something worth investing in. So let's have a little bit of patience and let's Still City Interactive cook. And also do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts in the comment section. It's been your boy Fight Night's Finest, the Sophist commentator, and I'm off this. Peace.